Hey there! On this video, we are going to talk about challenges. All sorts of challenges. Now, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. This is the What's She Up To Now piece where I just kind of let you know what I'm doing as I transition from the offline brick and mortar and corporate world to the online world, mostly in my pajamas and my bathrobe. And that is 100% intentional. It's intentional because each of us is different, and I always loved the idea of being able to do what I want, when I want, with whomever I want, wherever I want, traveling and having a freedom lifestyle, or the laptop lifestyle they call it nowadays, now that laptops have been invented, or the cell phone lifestyle. Nowadays, you can do almost anything on your cell phone if you have good enough eyes and don't have vision challenges. So I was thinking about challenges today because I'm doing my, I don't even know how many challenge this year. I love challenges. I do 30-day challenges all the time. I do 60-day challenges. Right now I'm in a 365-day challenge for doing Facebook Lives with a really amazing group of people that I just stumbled upon the day before it started and said yes to. And we're over halfway. I think we were on day 186 today. So we're over halfway through that. I'm doing my own challenges, doing a daily scare share, something that stretches my comfort zone and gets me over my fear of doing things that I know I need to do to move my business forward, just like the rest of us. So I do a daily live for that. And I think today was day 269 for that one. And then this is day 256 for what I'm up to now. What I'm doing is I just documenting my journey as I go from the traditional real world of business to the online world of business, because they are very, very different. But they also are very complementary. You can do so many amazing things like draw your notebook with online tools and online things and technology that are available today that were not available over the decades that I've been building my businesses. And the power of them is so incredible to make changes and to supersize your business that you don't want to ignore them. And the vast majority of business owners I know and come in contact with are totally ignoring them. They're just going about business as usual, and they're wondering why they're struggling, why they're having to compete on price, why they're having difficulty finding customers, attracting customers, and keeping customers, when they can put that all on autopilot using a little tiny bit of technology and for less cost than they can even imagine, like a cup of coffee a day. Like for the cost of a cup of coffee a day, they can automate mostly all of their customer handling. They just don't know how. They just need to ask, because I would be glad to tell them and show them. I will even show them for free. Anyway, challenges. What does it have to do with challenges? Well, we have challenges in all areas and aspects of our life. And it's not a coincidence that on two of my whiteboards, I have written 7 different categories of our life, because I'm not particularly good at leading a balanced life. Now, I personally think work-life balance is bullshit and that that's a fallacy and that there's really no such thing. But maybe that's why I don't have it, is because I don't believe that it's a thing. So I like to remind myself and have a goal for each of these areas. You know, whether you do or not is up to you. But I know that when I don't have a goal for a particular area, it pretty much gets ignored. And that part of my life starts to go down, 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 down. But if I do have a goal or something that at least in the back of my mind I'm paying attention to for each of these areas of my life, then that tends to move toward that, and I don't go down, 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 down in that area of my life, and so I don't struggle with that. So you're probably thinking, well, what are these areas of your life that you want to have goals in? And by goals, I mean goals, and then I set a challenge to myself to achieve that goal. So our physical life, we have to have goals and ideas of what's a successful or a sufficient level of health for us. Now, yes, would we all like optimum health? Yes, I would like to be fit, trim, energized, active, weigh 100 pounds, and have so much energy that I could run circles around 20-year-olds. That's probably not exactly what I want or exactly what I'm going to get. But physically, we have to have an idea of what we want to have and achieve. I like to make physical things habits in my life so that I don't even have to think about them. I like to make eating and eating good foods a habits. I like to make, things like that just a normal, automatic part of my life so that I don't have to worry about it. I exercise every day. So I'd like to exercise the same time every day, but it never happens. So I like to have a time every day that I exercise. I'd love to have a same time every day, but with my schedule, it doesn't really work out. But I do exercise every day. So I make things that are physically important for me habits. Physical challenges. I personally probably have more physical challenges than a lot of people. Guys, when you're complaining about how things don't work for you and how hard life is, I have to do everything through a freaking magnifying glass out of one eye. So I'm sure there's people worse off than me, but I also know that no matter what your situation is, you can make stuff work. You can figure it out if you want to. Mental is the next category that I consider. And I consider mental like thoughts and our conscious and learning and growing and personal development and the things I think, limiting beliefs and things kind of fall into this category and the emotional category. But as far as mental things, I am one of those lifelong learner people that has to always be studying, learning, and growing and applying what I've learned in some way, shape, or form. So mentally, I like to read. I like to keep on top of things. I do a lot of things to feed my brain, but I always want to make sure I challenge myself that I'm feeding my brain positive things and positive growth type things, not just negative things like the news or politics or Facebook feeds or things that aren't really growing my thoughts and my ability to think and reason things out. I love creative things, so I read a lot of like the Kicking the Seat of the Pants book by Roger Van Ork, or Oak. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but things like that. I like to read books that stimulate my thinking and creativity. I like puzzles. Now, puzzles with the magnifying glass aren't exactly fun, and I'm not talking like physical piece puzzles, although I like those too. But I like word puzzles and challenges and math challenges and things like that. It's, crossword puzzles, things that help me to think and continue to be sharp. Then the next category that I like to have a goal for is my emotional life. And I think that it's a continually improving process where we're always getting better at managing our emotions. I like to expand my vocabulary because I know that if I have more words to choose from, I have more emotions to choose from. If I have more emotions to choose from, that gives me more opportunities to feel better, because I always want to be feeling better with respect to my emotions. If something bad happens, I want to get from angry and upset or devastated up that value ladder of emotions to higher, acceptance, understanding, love, whatever, lesson learned, whatever the emotions are on an emotional scale. I want to always be finding things to make me feel better. So I'm always challenging myself in any given situation to look at it from other perspectives, because that helps me to see it and make me feel better about any situation. And we get to choose how we're going to feel about any situation. We get to choose everything, but we get to choose what we're going to think and how we're going to feel about absolutely everything. That's our personal power. And we can give that away and let the world battle us around and not take responsibility for our feelings and our thoughts, which lead to our actions. Or we can take responsibility and we can claim our personal power and we can challenge ourselves to get better and better and better at that. When I was growing up, my family used to use an expression. They'd say, "Pop the cork, Sherry." And they called me Sherry because I had a bad temper as a little kid. And I didn't have a long-lasting bad temper, but I had a temper, and I would get really emotional about stuff really quickly and really easily. And it was usually if somebody else was getting picked on or something, I would get all bent out of shape about it. And I think it's funny because my daughter's the same way. But I would get super upset, and so my family would say, "Pop the cork." And so I used to not be particularly good at handling my emotions as a little girl, but I've gotten better and better and better. Now something really bad or devastating can happen, and instead of it taking weeks or years or days or months even for me to recover from that and let that stop affecting me, I might be able to get over it in like 5 or 10 minutes. I will get upset about something, and then I work through it really fast, and I say, okay, yeah, that happened. It sucks, but what am I going to do about it? Am I going to be upset about it for a year? No, because in a year, it's not going to matter. So I might as well stop being upset about it right now and take the next action I need to take to be okay with it. So again, emotionally, we need to look at, are we being responsible for our emotions? Are we choosing our emotions, or are we letting our emotions be delegated to us by people outside of us. And I'll tell you what, with friends and family, they know the triggers, they know the buttons to push to really get our emotions going. And so I really work hard to steel myself against emotional roller coasters when I'm with my family. The next category of things I like to think about and have challenges for are spiritual. Spiritual beliefs are totally different for all of us. Everybody gets to believe what they want to believe, but I like to continually grow and develop myself spiritually. I like to read and listen to and study different modes of spirituality and different ways and different levels of spirituality, because I think there's different levels of spiritual belief. Again, that's just what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what you think. But I like to have something that I'm learning about or studying or working toward or understanding with respect to spirituality. Then comes the biggie for most people, which is what I call the financial, which is, monetary, material things, getting our basic needs met, food, shelter, water, electric, cell phones nowadays are a necessity, right? Internet connections, whatever it is you need, but all of our monetary needs, vehicles, homes, whatever falls under that category. So material, monetary things, financial, anything financial. I like to have a goal and objective for that area of my life that I'm working toward. And then again, I challenge myself steps along the way to get to that goal. Another area that many of us neglect, guilty, are the area of relationships with a significant other, friends, family, business associates, work associates, if you have a job, your boss, all the relationships that we have in our life. I like to have a goal or an objective that I'm working toward, always improving relationships. And you might have noticed a trend here that in every area of my life, I'm always going for continuous improvement, because I know that nothing is ever perfect. Nothing is ever just as it should be, but I'm always striving for that. That's the challenge part, and working toward my definition of perfection, because my definition of a perfect relationship is probably different than almost everybody else's on the planet, because we all get to define everything for ourselves. And the last category that I like to have a goal or objective and challenge for myself is the area of contribution. How am I working toward making the world a better place? Because I believe that all of us should be working toward, number one, making ourselves better and experiencing life as only we uniquely can. But as part of that, and as a result of making ourselves better, how are we contributing to the environment and the world around us, the world at large, in a positive way to make it better? Because if we're not making it better, we're probably sucking the life out of it, just like not everybody else, but the majority of the population. We're just surviving and getting by. That is not really making the world a better place. It's just maintaining the status quo, which if we're not increasing and making things better, they're getting worse or deteriorating. Things will fall into a natural state of deterioration unless we are striving to make them better. Again, one of my beliefs, which is why I believe in continuous improvement. And I like to break it down and have continuous improvement options and goals, I call them, in each of these areas of my life in an attempt to lead a more balanced life. I will admit, at certain times of our lives, our emphasis on work and family and different things varies, and it's going to vary. If we expect that we're going to spend 1/7 of our time on each of these categories every day or every year, or we're just going to get disappointed, because that's an unrealistic expectation. The balance of the amount of time and energy we put toward any area of our life is going to be different and unique for each of us. And that's, again, what makes this world an awesome place, is that you get to be you and emphasize things that you want in your life, and I get to be me and hang out in my bathrobe and be comfortable if that's what's important to me. So just thinking about that and challenges today. And I'm thinking about challenges because there's this big push right now for 5-day challenges, 5-day challenges, 5-day challenges. And I get that, because the majority of the population barely has a 6-second attention span, much less a 5-day or 30-day attention span. I've done a lot of 30-day challenges, and I do that on purpose, because to me, it takes me 30 days to really do anything that I want to accomplish of significance. Yep, we can do 5-day challenges, and I will probably start doing some 5-day challenges to bring people into my world so that I can get them to see that they can do a 5-day challenge, and then I'll move them up to a 30-day challenge, because I think 30-day challenges, it's incredible how much we can actually accomplish in 30 days that we didn't think was possible before. I'm doing a 30-day challenge, which is kind of turning into a 60-day challenge right now, sharing 30 different super successful business owners, award-winning business owners, strategies, 30-day strategy, what they would do if they lost everything and had to start over. And it's incredible what these people are showing us that it is 100% realistic to accomplish in 30 days. One just showed us a plan for making $150,000 in 30 days. Do you believe you could make $150,000 in 30 days? Most people don't believe that, but it's absolutely 100% done. He's done it, and it's possible, and much, much more. I mean, I know we don't like to think about it, but there's people that make millions of dollars a day. I think, who is it? Elon Musk makes, maybe it's Jeff Bezos, makes over $4 million an hour. $4 million an hour. I mean, pretty mind-boggling, right? $4 million an hour. Amazing. And the vast majority of the people are getting by on scraps because they choose to think that that's all that they deserve. So thinking about challenges today and how can I pare things down and do some 5-day challenges instead of always doing 30-day challenges, just as a front-end way of bringing people into my world so I can serve them better. And there's definitely things, really cool outcomes I can teach people how to get in 5 days if they just follow step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Boom, there's your result. And there's lots of things I can teach people to do that. I mean, I started my podcast in 1 day. If I can start my podcast in a day, I can teach somebody how to start their podcast in 5 days. I've got this incredible LinkedIn strategy going. If I can get 4,000 people in 45 days added to my LinkedIn connections, I can show people how to get, 500 in 5 days, right? Or more even. So 505 days LinkedIn connections, that would be pretty easy. So things like that. I want to brainstorm and come up with ideas. So if you have any ideas of what you'd like to learn and what kind of an outcome you'd like to get in 5 days, put your ideas in the comments below, because I would love to create some of those 5-day challenges for people, because I love challenges. I love making challenges. I love doing challenges. I think they're fun. They help me grow, and I think they help a lot of other people grow too. Because sometimes we just need that little extra incentive or push to hold us accountable to ourselves to do what it is that we know we want to do anyway. So that's my little rant today. Go ahead, make sure that you're having some thought given to each of the 7 different categories of your life. Again, I don't expect it to be balanced. I know mine will never be balanced. I don't even want it to be balanced, but that's okay. But it's important that we at least think about those areas. And not all the time, but maybe once a month or once every 6 months, for sure once a year. Let's make sure that we're having a goal or an objective that we're moving toward, so we continue that upward spiral and we never get trapped in that just living by default and just really not enjoying our lives. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow with day 257 of What's She Up To Now. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.